Well, I've been a journalist for 20 plus years, and my whole life in journalism was about building relationships with people and earning their trust. You can't just ask for someone's trust and say, open up your life to me. You have to earn that. So in the case of all the people who were in the film, besides Samuel, I did the filming and getting to know them over a period of 1 to 2 years. So this was not just a, parachute in quickly and get out type of story.
Yes.
I really got to know these people. Emily Huff, her mother actually was someone that I went through that leadership program together with, I talked about earlier, for 1 year. So before I even started filming, I got to know her over the course of the year, Emily as well. Keith Jones was somebody that I went to a local nonprofit that creates mentorships between adults and kids with disabilities, so that the adults can be role models for the kids. And they introduced me to Keith. Don't introduce me to anybody else. I'm all set. I've got the best subject because he's such an engaging, lively person, so smart and funny. But I got to know him over the period of a year.
Yes.
So, I had to promise them that I would tell their life story in an honest way, in a complete way, that they would have input as to things that were in the film or not in the film, because I felt like if there was something in the film that they really felt uncomfortable with, I was not going to force it on them. So I saw this as a partnership with each of these subjects. And when you make a film like this, it's like creating a puzzle. You have to think of what are all the pieces that you need to tell a whole story. And Daniel was actually the last piece of the puzzle because I wanted to find a child with autism to feature because I think that's an important disability that people are talking a lot about these days. I wanted to find a school that was kind of a model for inclusion, and I wanted to find somebody in a more urban environment in a city. So all those things came together with Nathaniel at the Haggerty School near Boston to kind of represent all the different perspectives.
Maria, I'd like to ask you about watching documentaries, films, feature films about people with disabilities. Do you think it's good, people, the viewers, watching characters with disabilities? Is it good?
It's great to be watching it. The whole idea is how is it presented.
Yes.
It's not whether it should be there or it shouldn't be there. The question is how they are presented. So, and I'm talking especially about big Hollywood productions,
Yes.
big movies that are in the cinema. So in these movies, I think we need to have a as viewers, I think, because we have no control, at least not much control of what the Hollywood industry can produce and show in terms of disability. But I think as viewers, we need to be more critical and more aware of what are the messages. And sometimes the messages are very implicit. You don't even realize what is happening in the movies. So what are those messages that are communicated through this type of media? And we see more and more, a lot of big Hollywood movies, a lot of documentaries, presenting people with disabilities. And the common thing that we unfortunately see is this idea that people with disabilities are pitiful, or they need charity, or what we call the people. And I'm sure you see that all the time, not only in films, but in the writing, in the media, in newspapers. When a person with disability does something that you and I or everybody would do anyway, that it's presented as the superhero, the person that went against all odds, that he made it, and they create things that creates this idea that the person did is despite disability. We show this pictures of people just achieving something against their disabilities, and I think that although it gives this sense of immediate sense of, oh, look at this, how cute, but in the long run, what it actually creates is instilling in us this sense that we need to feel very sorry for these people, or be happy when they achieve something that that they would achieve anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So I think that's something that we need to be very aware of. And I have this discussion with a lot of my students. I have undergraduate students here at the university, and that was one of the themes that come up, and they keep asking. People with the ages, first year students at the university, 18 to 20, they ask a lot about these questions about what they see in films, because they do watch a lot of Hollywood films. What does this mean for disability, and what, how different it should look like? So I think we all have a responsibility, disability researchers or not, to be able to talk to our peers and to talk to people who watch these kind of things and look at it from a critical perspective, not just take it as it is.
Well, I actually did not come to the university to teach, but just to make documentary films and to travel and work with other groups around inclusion and disability rights. So when I made Including Samuel, I knew that to get the fullest impact it could have, I had to work at full time.
Yes.
So I actually have the Institute on Disability at University of Hampshire and asked them whether they'd be willing to get a job. And they did create a new position for me, so I'm now a filmmaker in residence, my title. And my whole job is traveling with Including Samuel, working with other nonprofits and universities around the country to help them use it as a tool for social change, work internationally with groups to make sure that they use the film as a tool for inclusive education, disability rights, and social change, and then work on new films. So I'm working on a new documentary right now that focuses on the inclusion of kids with emotional and behavioral challenges, and looks at the way schools are run and shows the potential for the whole school culture to change in a way that benefits all kids, but particularly supports kids with significant emotional behavioral challenges, whether that comes from autism or mental illnesses or just environmental factors like poverty and substance abuse in their families. Allows those kids to be successful. So I've been working with Maria closely on that film as well. So for the past year, I documented at a high school where Maria has done a lot of work, and I'll be spending the next year completing that film, and that should be out in about a year from now.
Yeah, about that one as well, because when you talked before about disabilities, if there are types of disabilities that are better, than others, or worse than others, what we've seen is that at least at the secondary level, like high school level, that because they are adolescents, between the ages of 15 and 18, but emotionally behavioral disabilities are the ones that usually get very beaten up. The kids get placed out of school, or they're outside the classroom the majority of the time because they're seen as very, disturbing or violent, this kind of thing. So I think it's a great opportunity to show this side as well.
Yeah.